Free speech is now considered far right. Free speech is now considered far right. So you guys know what happened with the Telegram CEO recently. He was taken into custody and he is now facing 10 years in prison. Watch it in this video to fully understand why free speech is now considered far right. And let's just go ahead and jump right into the video.
CEO and co-founder Pavel Durov could spend up to 10 years behind bars. French authorities are accusing him of allowing criminal activity on his popular encrypted app. Durov is facing multiple charges, and he must remain in France during the investigation. As CBS News senior foreign correspondent Holly Williams reports, the case against the tech CEO is unlike any other.
Hey there, Errol and Lana. This case is extremely unusual. A tech multi-billionaire, that's Pavel Durov, the founder of the Telegram messaging app, has been indicted because of criminal activity on his platform. French prosecutors accuse Durov of being complicit in the dissemination of child pornography, as well as drug trafficking and fraud. Now, to be clear, they're not saying Durov was actively involved in those crimes, but the Telegram app enables users to encrypt their messages, making it difficult for authorities to monitor them. And prosecutors say Durov has not cooperated in criminal investigations. Durov was detained on Saturday and has now been released on bail of nearly $6 million. He's not allowed to leave France and he has to report to the police twice a week. In a statement, the French President Emmanuel Macron said that France is deeply committed to freedom of expression. But he also said, and this is a direct quote, "In a state governed by the rule of law, freedoms are upheld within a legal framework to protect citizens." And that's exactly what this is about, the debate about free speech and the internet. Governments in democracies are wrestling with protecting free speech on the one hand, but also protecting people from criminal behaviour. Telegram's been used by pro-democracy protesters in places like Russia, Iran and Hong Kong. The company says it has nearly 1 billion users worldwide. But we also know the app's been used by terrorists and organised crime. Durov's lawyer said, quote, "It is totally absurd to think that the head of a social network could be involved in criminal acts that don't concern him either directly or indirectly."
Now, here's where things get very strange. So on the Telegram app, you actually have to evidently go and physically turn on encryption mode. So you have to enable the encrypted mode so that you can even encrypt your messages. This is a very strange situation because there are apps like WhatsApp where the messages are evidently already encrypted. This is strange, y'all. This is basically saying that, if you don't offer maybe a back door of some sort into encrypted messages, or if you even offer encrypted messaging service at all, then we can put you in prison. And if you don't do enough to comply with requests to censor free speech, if we believe that it's being used, your services are being used for speech related to illegal activity, then we can also just throw you right in prison and charge you as if you were the one involved in such actions. This is pretty crazy, y'all, because this actually removes the liability away from even the company itself and places it on a specific individual. So it's not even, for example, the way that companies are designed, it's supposed to shield the individual who works at the company from prosecution. However, that's not happening here. And this is completely trampling on freedom of speech. This entire thing is crazy. And as you can see, the media is somewhat in support of this because they're like, well, you have freedom of speech, but you don't have complete freedom of speech. Guys, it's like holding a phone manufacturer, it's like holding a network operator liable because drug dealers were using their phone lines to do business together, or illegal activity took place using their phones. This is crazy. This is crazy stuff. And basically, they're trying to say that no form of communication should have end-to-end encryption, and that the state should always, at all times, be able to access a person's conversations, a person's communications. This is the world that modern women have essentially unleashed upon us because they sided with the state. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. If you want to destroy a country, destroy the men. And if you want to destroy the men, use the women to destroy the men. Women traded men in for the state. They traded men in for comfort, for luxuries, for a handful of dollars, and now tyranny is running free. People have always warned us about the French, and you look at the condition that France is in right now, and you basically just have to walk away. You basically just have to absolutely walk away. They have no one to blame other than themselves for the state that France is in. The French people. You know, Honestly, Le Pen would have been the best thing to happen to France, but she was quickly shuttered out. And you have to understand that a lot of it was because of the way the women in the country voted. Women basically have rushed in the last elections to keep Le Pen in office, to keep Macros in office, like Coq in office, right? And this system going. France is a cesspool. Paris is a cesspool. The country has completely fallen into chaos, and we're not supposed to say anything about it. And this hell on earth is expanding. Think about it, guys. They are monitoring us everywhere. They are monitoring men everywhere we go now. For example, they're monitoring us in games, online chat. They're monitoring the YouTube videos that we watch. They're putting us in prison if they think that we are but they're putting boys and men in prison if they in the UK if they believe that they're even susceptible to the influence of the manosphere. If they display any type of behavior that could make that that could make them suspects to be, influenced by the manosphere, they'll be off to prison. Guys, this is hell on earth. Like you are being punished for your thoughts. This is extreme thought policing on another level. And women, modern women themselves as a group, collective, are the ones who are pushing this. Women and simps, it's about total control. Simps have no control. Simps have zero control, zero discipline. These are people. This is the reason why when you watch movies like 300S, they took the babies and there was the whole inspection process, and only the strong survived. And you have to realize now that so many of the weak ones, so many of the weak ones made it out, that now we are in this living hell. Now we are in this horrible reality because there's a lot of weak ones that survived. This is why Gen X is so strong. This is the reason why Gen X is so strong, because Gen Xers always say, the reason why Gen X is the smallest generation of all the other generations is because they're the ones that survived. Okay? And that's what made Gen X so strong. All the weak ones didn't make it. And modern women, they've created this reality where they've weakened their men, they've weakened their societies, and now this is the hell on earth that we're seeing right here. And I've said this in another video that the destiny of the manosphere will be one of self-discipline. This is the direction that the manosphere will be going into. It will be one of self-discipline, where men will now compete for discipline, compete to show that who can be more disciplined, who can control their lust and desire, who can control their appetite, who can stay fit, who can control their desire to spend and their finances. Okay? No more buying the latest and greatest iPhone. Okay? Learning how to shop for a deal. Who can learn new skills. It's going to be about discipline. Discipline can make your life so much better because it offers you so much structure. You know who draws you out of discipline? Modern women. They pull you away from discipline. And once you become a man of discipline and you change your environment, the people you're around, your life will get better. Women spend most of their lives living in chaos. Just to be very honest with you. And their actions, their belief system is to draw men into chaos with them. Chad and Tyrone, these individuals spend their lives mostly in the streets. Okay? Some of them change along the way, but a lot of these dudes, they spend their entire lives in the streets. Okay? Living off women, living off society. And these are often very toxic men. You don't want to get mixed up with these guys. These are some really, really toxic individuals. They bring no value to society and they take absolutely everything. And that's why women love them, because birds of a feather flock together. It's a sad thing to say. It's a hard thing to say, but it is not an untrue thing to say. Free speech is now considered far right. It's only going to get worse. And Simpson modern women are the ones who are basically pushing this, saying that, hey, it's dangerous to allow this type of thing to continue. This is basically, a lot of this has to do with the manosphere, y'all. It has nothing to do with, they say, misogyny and all this crap. No, it has to do with the fact that they don't want us communicating with one another, talking about the actions of the state, talking about how money operates, talking about what the state's doing, talking about survival, talking about fitness, because they want us all fat, sick, demoralized, and obedient, so that they can control us and do whatever they want, so that we will own nothing and be happy. All right? Either you're happy or you're a problem. That's how they want you. All right? They want us to all live on a slave planet where we are basically in a perpetual state of disillusion and despair. And we are and while being told to like it and enjoy it. All right? It is a sick, twisted concept. Jesus help us. I'm telling you. And I'm going to tell you right now, believing that Jesus is going to come and save us from our mortgages or tyranny is a joke. If it's going to be, it's up to me, it's up to us to take control of our futures and to walk away. That's all we can do, is walk away and stay disciplined. For women, it's going to be very hard. A lot of, it's only going to become more tyrannical, and women believe that they are allies of the state, or that they control the state. They do not control the state. They do not rule over the state. The state rules over all of us. It is a tyrannical endeavor, and ultimately they will discover that for themselves. Okay, because women don't have women do not have rights. They have privileges. They have special privileges. All right, and those privileges can be taken away at any time. Anytime. George Carlin warned us about this. At the end of his life, he was not trying to be funny anymore. There were just some things that he had to tell us. God bless him. God bless him. He wasn't perfect, but he got a lot of it. He understood. So, guys, you could watch George Carlin on Politically Incorrect. He would get on stage and he would basically talk about society. And see, he would say the same things on stage and he would get laughs. And then he'd go on Politically Incorrect and he would say the same things, exact same things with the exact same energy, and no one would laugh. All right? He used comedy as a means of sharing his philosophy and telling us about society and how society actually exists and operates. And by the way, guys, if you're enjoying the content, join my Substack for insights on world events, wealth building tips, practical living advice, social issues, and also to get a copy of my free digital nomad blueprint, which is linked in the description. So you can go and check that out and get yourself a copy, guys. What do you think regarding all of this? Free speech is now considered far right. Let me know your thoughts, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away, and cheers.